This is the Real Estate Investing Abundance Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Allen. I know you're excited to get into today's show, but I have a very exciting announcement to share with you before moving to the show. We've just launched a complimentary and comprehensive webinar that, among other things, shows you how to legally use passive real estate investing to reduce your taxes, recession-proof your nest egg, and take the sting out of inflation. If you are curious to learn more, go to stevetucker.com/webinar. It is complimentary and only takes a couple of minutes of your time. Once again, that is stevetucker.com/webinar. I'll see you in the webinar. Enjoy today's show. Hello, enlightened investors. Welcome back to Real Estate Investing Abundance. I'm your host, Dr. Allen. As always, I'm so glad you have decided to join us today. And we are going to take a look here at how one man, Arunabh Dastidar, is on a mission to change the way that we make real estate decisions. And Arunabh has spent the last majority of his career as an asset manager using technology and PMP certified management consultant. He has led numerous teams managing projects worth up to $5 billion. He thrives on collaborating with top-tier teams and making meaningful contributions to iconic projects spanning 6 countries and counting. As the technical co-founder of RealSage, he is on a mission to revolutionize the way real estate decisions are made using state-of-the-art technologies. His diverse background is in product development, asset management, and international consulting empowers him to devise innovative and effective solutions. So I'm eager to get in our conversation here today on real estate decisions. But Arunabh, before we get into that, share with us an experience from your formative years that helped you to be who you are today.
Thanks a lot, Alan, for that humble introduction, and thanks a lot for having me. This is a great question. I'll take you back to my teens when I saw an email land on my dad's email in the early days. He didn't know how to use emails, and I was the smart kid around the house who was like looking at it, and this email was calling in young people first time to websites and sell websites. And I come from both of my parents had sales backgrounds, service backgrounds. None of them were engineers. I looked at it, I said, okay, selling websites would be pretty interesting back in the days, and it was the first time India was going through that boom on digitization. And I candidly applied at that job and filled out a form. For my age, I had a pretty decent knowledge of like computing, websites, because of my interest when I was like 14. And to my surprise, I got selected to go for an interview on that role, with a room filled with like 30-year-olds, and I was there trying to find my way. And the president selected me to actually represent some of the web development and websites which they were doing. And I was working on a commission-only job for like, the more I sell, I can get money. That gave me the first kick to like, understanding entrepreneurship. So my start was like selling websites, door to door to like businesses to really get their self digitized in urban India. And to my surprise, after a few months, that company shut down, and I had orders which I actually booked and got money on, placed, and that was my lesson number 2 on entrepreneurship, that do it yourself and trust yourself the most. And I learned coding like to the highest level before I even got into engineering college to like deliver those results. And I think that was a very pivotal moment in my life where I I not only got into understanding the first couple of pillars of entrepreneurship, which is like selling and building, but also understood how the world like really works. And that got me off to a good start to this career of over 15 years of creating innovation in real estate industry.
Well, that is a very interesting story and a very interesting way to get into the world of entrepreneurship at a very young age. And I'm sure that was very pivotal to where you have finally ended up here. Well, let's jump into this complex world of real estate investing and grappling with the scattered and the very oftentimes pretty non-transparent data out there. So, how can we take AI applications and data analytics and transform and challenge the way that we currently are doing business in real estate?
That's our mission. Like I was in the intersection of real estate and technology. I sold my first company when I was 25 in technology space, in construction technology space. Now, when I was working on the other side of the table as an asset manager, everyone says like real estate moves slow. Real estate moves slow because oftentimes there is so many different data sets which you need to accumulate, put together to really do your NPV, which is net present value, your IRR calculations, and they are not very readily available. They're siloed, they are fragmented, sometimes wrong. What now the new gen technology has brought to the table is simplifying that process really well. What RealSage does is we bring together these disparate data sets, both internal and external system for large scale landlords, to help them expedite that decision making process and bring this industry from where it is to a $120 trillion industry over the next few years. It's more productivity for the industry. No more saying real estate moves slow, because the decision making friction gets removed. So think of us as a platform where you can use the latest data science and AI models. We're working with some of the top PhDs across North America on these highly efficient and latest models of AI and data science, which are at your disposal. So they are no code solution. You don't need a big analyst team to work with it. You can just drag and drop your data sets into our platform and then review which deals might be of use for us, or which properties of yours are actually performing better than your competition. And another very important use case which we support is planning and predicting your vacancies and rental pricing. So you give your historic data on your system. Our system can tell you, okay, these are the months where you will expect more vacancies based on your work orders, based on your tenant satisfaction score, based on your like market activity. And then you can plan ahead your marketing spends, your budgets and forecasts, so that you can be ahead of the competition in whatever markets you operate in.
Well, there certainly is a lot of data involved with real estate investing. I mean, you're talking about the net present value when we're looking at acquisition. That is its whole entire process, is that underwriting potential deals, and we have to, just to get one, we have to underwrite multiple deals just to come to one. So it's very cumbersome. Just that underwriting process is cumbersome, but that is only just the beginning, as you have just alluded to there. And once we do get that property to contract and under contract, then we have a whole nother set of data in which we're working with one application to acquire that, and then we're going to have to go to other applications to go through that due diligence process. We're going to have to go through the owner's accounting system, the property manager's accounting system. So there's two systems just there, but then we have to go through the physical aspects of that due diligence process, and we have to know what the plumber's doing, what the electrician's doing, what the property, what the maintenance crew is doing. So all of those are different subsets of data that we have to look at, and they're all going to be in different applications. And that's just on the purchase side. So once we go into the property, then we have that whole asset management process, which is then again a whole nother application. And none of those data sets that we've been looking at flow over to those new systems.
They don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
They don't talk to
effective
each
manner.
other, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tell us about what it is that you're putting together and how you're bringing all of that together.
So we are one of the fastest integration industry have ever seen over the last 30 years. And I can proudly say that because I personally have worked on this side of things and I have felt the pain of implementing, I don't want to name names, but implementing one of the prominent software in the industry myself, and the pain of implementing it was high for our team, and a cost and resource we involved in was high. And everybody told me that that's how it is done in real estate, right? So I challenged that and said, let's build something which is so simple, so efficient, so fast to integrate with 120 plus systems across board, sit on top of it and mine all that data at one place where anyone from asset management or acquisition team can play around with it without knowing how to code, how to be a data engineer, or how to go on Coursera to learn a data cleanup or data management kind of course. So what we have built is one of the fastest and most extensive integration system. And for external data, so these are all internal systems which we can actually integrate with, even your Excels and CSV files, you can just drag and drop it. It's so simple. But for even external partners, we have this unique data plug partnership program where anyone who is selling data to real estate can actually list themselves on our data plug marketplace and get access to our customers, and our customers can get access to their data set. And we have partnered with some of the largest rental data providers across US and Canada, which gives our clients a very unique position where they can benchmark themselves towards changing rental prices. They can benchmark their assets towards right neighborhoods and so on and so forth.
So just give us an example here, if you could here. So on the asset management side, so we've integrated the purchase that, and we've integrated that into the asset management. Well, in an asset management process, almost always, certainly with value add properties, you're going to have a construction crew, and that construction crew is going to have their own project management system. Can we integrate their project management system with our asset management system?
So how we do it is a bit different. You don't integrate two different systems. We sit on top of it and actually gather the data which you need. So we can bring in the relevant GLs from your system and their system and do a comparative on our system. So you don't need to go through hassles of dealing with these closed systems which are not that flexible, because we take that flexibility as a layer on top. And think of us taking data from these all siloed system and bringing a single set of infrastructure where you can play around with it very simply, while also handling the authorization, the user view, the accesses, and who gets access to what kind of data and securities at our layer itself. And to give you a very simple example is in asset management, two major things you definitely do is upgrading your asset, right? You want to know where the next capital expenditure dollars are going on. For that, you need two things. One is knowing what internally is demanded, right? So knowing your tenants, what their tenants would like, knowing why your prospects are losing. If your lobby is not good enough and that's why you're losing your your leases, and then they're saying that, or if you have a, one of our clients had issue with pests, and that's why they were losing it. So you have the, internal data and like work orders, which what your customers are demanding. And the second which you need is external trends. So you need to know in this area what kind of architecture or what kind of lobbies are in actually trend, what people are looking for. Is it wider spaces versus is it, like more bespoke? So you need those two data points. You can use the demographic data of people from external data plug partners on our marketplace and bring in your internal data sets and like juxtapose these two to see which are the trends which you should actually prioritize on your capital expenditure. That makes the job of an asset manager much more simpler, because now they have top 1, 2, 3, which AI is now suggesting you, saying these are the 3 things which would have the highest ROI because your tenants are requiring this, and this is the trend, and you should actually work towards it. And that is how, like, you can use the power of data science and AI into your day-to-day decision making and make it much more better.
Enlightened investors, if you haven't done so already, be sure and click that like button and also click that share so others can take advantage of the content. And finally, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single one of our upcoming episodes. Well, that is amazing. So I could operate the asset management, and essentially I'm operating that from the applications that I'm familiar with. I can then go out into the to the wide world web and collect this demographic information. I can set up systems where I'm collecting information from my current tenants as to what they want and what they need and what they would like to have. And I can then bring that together in one integrated place, while at the same time, in this same place, I am overseeing the project management. I'm looking at the contractor's progress. I'm able to look at their cost and seeing if they're staying within the cost. I can put in
Right.
change orders as I need to, and I can do that all from that one localized place. I don't have to go into their application. Is that what you're telling me?
So on RealSage, it actually takes on reporting and beyond, right? So reporting and decision making. We don't necessarily replace the operational tasks of a project management software, because you're already implemented. So we work with larger scale landlords who have some sort of systems which they are using, or they're on Excel spreadsheets. So we can take all that data in. So in our system, you can have multiple custom dashboard to see the project progress, which is bringing that data from your project management system. So you don't need to log into these systems, download report, put it on Excel, then create your weekly meeting reports, because everyone has that like real time on their meeting dashboards and know what's going on in every level. But if you have to put a change order to a vendor or need to communicate some pieces which is more operational, you should go to the specific niche software which is only for managing those kind of relationships. So those are CRM tools, right? Mm-hmm. But the problem with these CRM and ERP systems, they're good at operations, but they're too bad at actually data management, business intelligence, and certainly most of them don't have any kind of advanced AI capabilities that can recommend you actions proactively where you can save money. Because once the data on the project management side is flowing into our system can proactively tell you that over the next 60 days you will face this challenge, or over the next 90 days you can have this kind of change. So you can go to your meetings much well prepared to ask the right questions. So it's business intelligence reporting and decision making which you can handle at RealSage.
Well, it just sounds too good to be true in some respects there.
You should check it out. Request a demo.
We'll have to do that for sure. You shared with us a little bit about what led you down this path, but it is always our personal journeys that inspire us to move forward and to innovate. So, could you go into a little bit more detail in terms of your story and how it is that you came to this place of providing this innovative product?
Yeah. It's most of the times than not, entrepreneurs face the pain themselves and then try to solve for it. Look for a solution, don't find it, and then try to solve for it. That was pretty much the same for me. I was working with real estate private equity after being in technology and real estate intersection for several years, working as a consultant across different countries. Post my MBA, I was very fortunate to get a great private equity job, handling over $1 billion of assets as a director of asset management. And most of my time was going in decision making, right? Like, we have property managers and others who are handling most of the operation stuff, but most of my time was decision making, finding the right capital expenditure projects, finding the right places to, acquire, dispose, manage loan expectations, the LTVs and things like that. And because I was a bit new to the space of asset management in North America, most of my decisions were based on Excel sheets. And one evening, I was taking a call on a $130 million project, and my Excel sheet was crashing. And it was such a terrible experience for me and embarrassing, while I was not able to talk during the meeting. And that pushed me towards that this doesn't only have to change for me, it has to change for every other person who joins the industry from here on. And that led us to this path of I met my other two co-founders, brilliant people. One worked briefly with Goldman Sachs and then headed sales in New Zealand. The other co-founder worked with RBC, went to Columbia for his master's in real estate. Really brilliant people come together, talk about this problem, talk to other asset managers about this problem, and then build a solution which is very customer driven, that we don't want them to go through the pain which we realized, and being on the other side of the table, make it so simple, so easy. So when you look at our product, it won't look like a clunky enterprise solution built by only engineers, but it's would feel like you already know this, and it will feel like it is something which is built tailored to your needs as a person who want to manage real estate and not spend time in implementation, coding, and all those kind of technical stuff.
We hear a lot about AI these days. A lot of people give dire warnings about AI taking over our world and subjecting humans to their world. How do you see AI evolving, and what role do you really see this playing in real estate analytics?
Those are two great questions. The first one, I know I love sci-fi in general, but I know where sci-fi stands with AI. AI is all currently pure math. So all the results you're getting is, if you think of it it's just computing the next best word, but it doesn't understand the word which is it is putting it for it. It is like a equation which is predicting the next best word, and that's all language models. And it doesn't understand data currently that well. You would see that what we have built is deterministic modeling, which has existed in different shape and forms for decades, right? Because for industries, there is predictive maintenance. For large airplanes, the downtime is equal to money. So there is advanced technologies which are available, which actually looks at faults and automatically tells what's the optimum time for actually putting the plane into the hangar and doing the maintenance. So like AI has existed among us for some time. Of course, now it has taken a lot more natural human form with the advancements, which is great, and the computational cost has gone down. I think this advancement will go on, but I think we have a few years before it take on the humans and take on the world. On the real estate side, I think this is the era of productivity. I think two back-to-back events which has happened has pushed real estate to right decisions, right place is first the COVID, where first time in 15 years real estate actually faced the need of technology, be it for showings, be it for actually and interacting and even like doing transactions in the real world. I have seen the last 5 years more technology jobs and CIO jobs come in real estate institutions than any other place. That was the first thing. And the second is this whole push towards high productivity and labor shortage in the entire market. So this is the era for productivity for real estate, and I'm really glad that real estate provides a solution which eliminates some of that friction and helps the players who want growth to grow even faster with leaner teams and more results.
Well, share with us what is Real Sage and how can we take advantage of what Real Sage has to offer?
Yeah, so RealSage is a AI-driven data intelligence platform which simplifies decision making by bringing together your internal and external data. We support a range of use cases, very particular ones with asset management, acquisition, and then team performance reporting as well. One of the major pieces is we have one of the largest databases for partners for rental data, where you can actually also find out how you're benchmarking your pricing in future. So you can reach us out on realsage.com. There is a big yellow button called request demo. My team would be more than happy to talk about your needs, your use cases, and how we can make you productive with the same team you have and not hiring a bunch of people to like make that happen. You can reach us out on our LinkedIn page at realsage, and you can follow us on Twitter as well. And any point in time, you can write to info@realsage.com if you want to know more and have any specific questions.
And all of that information will be in our show notes. Let's go into our last set of questions here. And once again, these are short answer, not essay. So our meaning of life questions. One of your most difficult setbacks, how you came through that, and what did you learn from that?
There are so many setbacks when you run a startup, for sure, and build a company. But I think one of the most difficult setbacks for me was, which it resulted in Real Sage, is basically the story I told about not being able to make decisions when it is required for the better part of your career growth and reasons. And what I learned from that is fix it. And how to fix it is basically to do what we are doing right now with RealSage.
And what are 3 good things that have happened to you in the last 24 hours?
Okay, so that's a very interesting piece. Of course, I'm currently in San Francisco meeting people. I met a couple of really great people around who were interested and looked at our solution very cleverly and got into it. So I was not even expecting them to introduce us to one of the largest players in California. I was just having taco at one of the places in Palo Alto, and then I walked over. There was a crowd of a new AI conference and a meetup going on. I walked over and met a person, and and he said, okay, this is what we are looking for, and go for that. And that was amazing. We have before this the shoot, we had a team meeting, and then we just heard back from one of the clients which we were following up for quite some time, come back to us, say, right, we want to make a decision within next 24 hours. So that was amazing. And I think the third great thing, today is a great day. This is a nice day, and I'm talking to you is is a pleasure of mine.
And how are you putting your success as an investor and entrepreneur to work to create universal well-being for all beings?
That's an excellent question. Real Sage is a mission-driven company, as you know. We want to change it for the young professionals, for the people who are actually in the industry, to be better, move up the ladder much faster, and so on. But apart from that, we are part of some very known charities which we contribute via equity. We do have a company ethos, how we hire and actually go forward. So from our side, everything is about creating value. If you create value to the humanity, that's the best way to pursue success. And as Real Sage, as a company, we try to incorporate that ethical understanding across board, so that not only me, everyone in our team is doing their bit to actually make it better for all beings.
And imagine you have come to the end of your life and you lay on your deathbed. What do you look back on as your greatest joy and sense of fulfillment?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, because I think earlier in my career, what also, like, pushed me towards entrepreneurship is one of our mentors said that you should always think about, when you're like in a position of dilemma, you should always think about this particular movement, that if somebody is actually on road going to put you down, would you smile looking back at your life, or actually would you regret that you have missed out so much? And for me, I think I would smile, because whatever I'm doing is so satisfactory, and like bringing humanity a step further, bringing an industry a step further is definitely something I cherish, and I continue to do it. I would do it any day in my life.
Well, wonderful. It has just been a pleasure having you. Very enlightening and informative conversation. Thanks for being our guest today.
Thanks a lot, Alan, for having me.
Enlightened investors, wait, don't go just yet. I just want to remind you about our recently launched webinar that you will not want to miss. If you're at all curious and would like to learn more about how real estate investing can diversify your investment portfolio, alleviate the anxiety associated with Wall Street swings, leverage your 401ks and IRAs to substantially increase the return on your investment, and do all of this with turnkey, hands-off, passive real estate investments, then you'll want to immediately go to steedtalker.com/webinar. In the webinar, we'll also address the common dubious investment schemes that you want to avoid. To access the webinar, go to steedtalker.com/webinar. I look forward to seeing you in the webinar.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Estate Investing Abundance, brought to you by Steed Talker Capital, a company working for passionate professionals like you to develop financial independence built on solid, passive real estate investments. As part of our efforts to make the world a better place, Steed Talker Capital contributes to activities and organizations committed to better understand the equine. These endeavors attempt to enhance the human treatment of horses worldwide. Steed Talker Capital, working for a world where all creatures, great and small, flourish abundantly. For resources to develop your financial independence, connect with us at steedtalker.com.